All right, so we got Brewster into a different home. It's on wheels now. We can hook onto it and tow it around. It's not 100% bolted down, but the important thing is everything fit. So what that means is all of our corners lined up, all of our brackets went into place. Once again, prototype, so there's a couple things I need to change. So I'll run through that real quick, like as we're doing the tour. First thing that comes to mind, I put these brackets down here, which may or may not be necessary because we got bolts holding this thing down, but they were really helpful on marrying the two pieces. The problem is I also had them on the front, and my jig didn't have any of this, so that bracket was in the way. So I had to remove that bracket so that we could bring that down just on the front. All the rest of them were fine. Some of them did dig in and scratch the bed liner a little bit there, so we're gonna have to fix that. But all in all, I mean, we built that box separate from this trailer, brought the trailer in and set it down on there, and it's bolted down and everything's working. Really happy with the trailer so far. I'd say my new concern is, I could say, is probably weight, and then of course tongue weight, because there's heavier stuff in the back, so I got some concerns there, but we'll just kind of cross that bridge when we get there. So I made a list today of things we got left to do. Got to get the canopy up there. The cover I was going to do on the wheels, that's another thing that we found when we got the trailer. The wheels actually stick out further than the edge of the trailer, so we can't just put that panel on here like I had. So I wasn't loving how it looked anyhow. I was doing it because I was trying to make it invisible, like you couldn't even tell that there was a panel there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just trim this out. It'll clean this all up, so when it's off, this will all be really clean. And then I'm going to have a different cover that I put on that'll stick out here about 2 inches when it's not rolling down the road. So it'll be better. The only thing that's worse is the fact that you'll be able to look at it and say, hey, I bet you there's wheels under there. That's the only negative. So while we got it down here, I'll go ahead and go inside and I can show you the stuff in there. This is kind of what it looks like when it's down. So you can kind of see the whole frame sits right down on the ground. We have to put the floor in here, finish wiring it, plumbing it, sheet it, insulate it. So there's a lot to be done. We're nowhere near done. All of our plates lined up. So you can see here's where we're bolting it down to the trailer with these posts, just like I had on my jig. They put the same plates on here that I had there. I gotta work something out to get that post by that door there bolted down. But for the most part, we got it sitting on the trailer and it ain't going anywhere. Had a big bang happen as we were rushing to get it in here. Hey, what the hell was that? I don't know. What that was is when I was putting it on, this pipe right here, down here that holds these hoses, you can see that's very tight to that wall. And I was worried about it, so I loosened it up so I could spread it apart while we put it down. And then we were rushed to get out of here. We had a lesson that the family had to get to. And so you can see what's happening right now is these brackets are moving down, and that's lifting the whole trailer up. And when this whole axle rotates in here, it's actually a really slick design. I'm worried about the wear in this point right here on this axle, where that's rotating in there. There's no bushing or anything there, but I talked to the guys that build these, and they say they have no problems with them. I explained we're gonna be doing this twice a day, pretty much every day in some cases. And he said it was okay to put some grease in there, so we're gonna squirt some grease in there and we'll just watch it. So now it's going back down, and you can see these pins. They're clearing everything now, but it's really tight. So now we're just gonna start working on all these loose ends. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. So you look at it and say, oh, they're almost done. You can see those wires coming out of the brakes. So I got a trailer with no brakes right now. So I have to wire all that in. I got to get tail lights wired in it. This is still a trailer. So the wiring for the coffee kitchen is pretty much done, but now I got to wire my tail lights, my electric brakes. I got to get the wires ran for the hydraulic pump and all that, because we're going to put the battery inside. So there's all kinds of stuff to do. And we're just going to be plugging away at it for the next 4 weeks, and hopefully it'll be rolling down the road and ready to brew some coffee. All this stuff is really tight. We got it all fixed as far as what happened, but I've still got to sheet both sides of this wall. So I'm building a wheel well in there. We talked about that earlier. And right now it's so tight that this pin right here, that pin is going to hit that wall when that goes up and down. And you can see it actually doing it. So what I'm going to do is I got to loosen this whole wall, and I'm just going to slide it out about 1/2 inch, and that'll give me plenty of clearance so I don't have to worry about that. So that's another thing that happened after we got it. But once again, considering what we did, this was really a smooth project. I couldn't have asked for this to go together any better. Nobody got hurt, number one, and it was that type of a thing. Number two, the posts and lifting it all up, all of that worked completely as intended. I only used 2 of my 4 pockets because it just felt plenty strong and sturdy. We got it out of the building. We got a picture of that. I think we cleared that door by about 1/4 inch, but it's out. And so yeah, now it's just a matter of finishing her up. So now we got the walls back in. We're done using these pipes. So I'll go ahead and frame this back out to where it's with this flush with the breaker box, and that'll give me a good channel up there for us to put all of our wiring in, and it gives me bigger area over here, because this is where a lot of our plumbing and our electrical hookups is going to be. This will be the electrical hookups, this will be the plumbing hookups. So I'm going to have these step in just a little bit right here and give us a little bit of area there to work with, and a channel going up. So all that'll start happening. Once I get the floor in it, I can start moving on that stuff a whole lot faster and easier. But right now I'm focusing on getting the outside buttoned up. I got to redo that around the wheel wells, and we're building a plate to cover that hole. So that hole it's going to basically look like this. There'll be a square plate of that we're going to have mounted right there. Again, that was all, had to do that because we had to lift this off that. That's the only way that I really had to do it. Windows work good. Need to get a rainstorm so I can park it outside and see if the water runs off the roof.